WQEE 99.1 FM The Key, Newman, Sharpsburg, Franklin, LaGrange.
The House of Light brings clarity to your soul, offering a safe space for healing through our compassionate practitioners, services, classes, and wisdom, plus the tools to support you in our retail space.
When you hear music, do the lyrics speak to you on a deeper level? I'm Bruce Thornton. Join me and Donna Wood every Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. on WQEE 99.1 FM The Key for our show Lyrical Wisdom. Every week we will dive into the lyrics of songs and uncover hidden messages that we hope will leave you feeling inspired and enlightened. We know that our ideas may not always line up with yours, so this show will be an open discussion. Email us with ideas for songs at lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Let's share some wisdom together.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens. Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele. It's now time for the House of Light presents The Wisdom Cafe, each and every week at this time on 99.1 FM WQEE. Here's this week's special.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am doing excellent. And good morning, all of you. Welcome to the House of Light presents Wisdom Cafe. I'm Donna Wood, and I am here, and I have something exciting to share with you. Well, for me, it's exciting, but I don't know. Some people, it's interesting. The topic of the day.
All right.
Are you ready for this, Ryan?
I'm ready. Yes.
Easter.
What? What a subject that is so controversial.
Why in the world would I want to talk about Easter?
I don't know.
Well,
I feel like I know you, but
I have heard, and I wondered, wow, Easter's early this year. I keep hearing everybody saying that. Well, all you have to do is start digging, and you might find yourself going down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
And those can be very fun. All I'm asking is for everyone, just keep your mind open. And let's discover together some of our beautiful history that, we really need to look at. That's all I'm going to say.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to look at Easter, the astronomy and astrology that is connected to Easter. Back in the 8th century, that was a long time ago, right?
Yes.
Don't ask me who, I just know that it was written. You know how people say that?
Yes.
It was written.
Yes.
And for some reason, when it gets written, it becomes law, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so back in the 8th century, it was written that the first Sunday following the first full moon on or be following the equinox would be the lawful Easter. So the first Sunday following the first full moon following the spring equinox. So for me, Easter is tied in to our lunar cycle, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's the first Sunday following the first full moon following the spring equinox. And therefore, this particular year, we are in what's called a reverse lunar cycle. Sounds kind of intimidating to me.
Yes, me too.
So, What that means is normally in every astrological month, and by what I mean by that, as everybody knows, the spring equinox is either like the 19th, 20th, 21st of March. There's somewhere in there.
Right.
And what that does is, for us, it's when the equator is equal day and night, right? And it's the position of Earth. We have no control over it, although we like to think we do.
Right?
Right,
yes.
It's simply, where is Earth in her process of spinning and rotating, because she doesn't just spin, she kind of dips to side, which causes like an interesting rotation that causes planets to appear retrograde. And that's another word that people get really scared of, especially when Mercury goes retrograde, right?
Right.
Well, those of you that do have fear around that, let it go. Let it go, because the more you hold on to that fear, the more our technology is going to go berserk. Because that's what usually happens in Mercury retrogrades.
Right.
Mercury is the planet of communication. And when it goes retrograde, everybody they assume, and therefore they create.
Oh, okay.
The technology going berserk. In other words, not working, things getting sent to spam when they're supposed to go to the inbox. And
Right.
sometimes cars won't crank, and you're like, what's going on? But that, by the way, folks, is April 1st.
Oh, April Fool's Day.
Not only is it April Fool's Day, but it's also called Easter Monday.
Yes.
So it's like, we got to begin to really look at what's going on, guys, in our skies. Because Easter, bam, Mercury retrograde, the solar eclipse on April 8th, that is going to be humongous too. It's all there for a reason. And I found that out by searching Easter. and back in the 8th century, it was written that the first Sunday following the first full moon following the equinox would be the lawful Sunday. Okay. The lawful Easter.
Okay.
So that's why we have Easter early this year. And then what they do, because, the Gregorian calendar, they know the dates, and so they look at the moon. And so for all you guys that don't understand the moon and think it's like, I don't know, there's people that we don't worship the moon.
Right.
What we do is we honor and celebrate it.
Okay.
Because it does affect us and our lives.
Right.
Here we are. It affects when Easter is every year, people.
Yeah, it does.
So, holding moon ceremonies and things like that are not what some people think they are.
Okay.
It's not, I will go there. A bunch of witches, around a fire, doing voodoo and all of those evil things. It is simply an honoring of where we're at in our life and in the cycle of life. Because believe it or not, we are so connected to this. We are 3/4 water, and the moon pulls water. It's what causes the ebb and flow of the oceans. Think of how huge oceans are. We're just a little tiny, grain of sand in that ocean. It's like, hello. Yes, the moon affects us. And when we look at Easter, what they do is they then count back 40 days. Okay?
Okay.
And that's when Lent begins.
Okay.
Okay? So Lent begins 40 days before Easter, and they know what Easter is going to be because they look at the moon cycle and the equinox.
Right.
And this year, like I said, we're in a reversal lunar cycle. That means that the full moon comes first in each astrological month. And by astrological month, I mean the 12 zodiac signs of the month.
Okay.
And you know, we're in Aries now. It happened on the spring equinox that it was a new lunar month, meaning Aries now. So if you're born anytime after, the 20th of March, 22nd of March, something like that, you're an Aries.
Okay.
Before that, you're a Pisces. And Pisces is the last sign in the astrological cycle. And it goes through a year. It is simply that. And they broke it up, to where the 12 signs, take so many months in each year.
Right.
Their month isn't from, the month of January, the month of February, the month of March. No, it's a little bit of January and a little bit of February, a little bit of February and a little bit of March.
It's like that old song, a little bit of country,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but for some reason, I think, when they created the Gregorian calendar, they were pushing against where we truly came from, which was totally connected to Earth and her cycles, the 4 seasons, the skies, the moon cycles, harvest time, planting time, things of that nature. We have been doing this ever since we've been here. It's part of who we really are, because we have, the human body is made up of everything that's within that periodic chart.
Okay.
Let's go back to high school.
Period. Yes.
Yes. Do you remember?
Table?
Yes. Did you know that there are 12 rows in the periodic table?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. 12 rows, 12 months, 12 zodiacs. Need I go on? 7 days in a week. I'm talking, it's very good information. And when you begin to connect the dots, you realize how connected we really are. So let's go back to the 40.
Okay.
Really, because Easter, you count back 40 days, and that begins what is called Lent. For those of you that are in that religious category.
Right.
Because some of them do not honor Lent.
Right.
When you count back 40 days, first of all, let me tell you this. What do you do at Lent? You give up something.
Yes.
You give up, and it's usually a guilty pleasure.
Yes.
Right?
No more chocolate for a while.
Correct. Sugars, sweets, things like that,
Coffee.
Yeah, so people really look at what they want to give up.
Right.
And that is a process of letting go of getting rid of a vice, because this spring equinox and Easter is really all about renewal, death, and rebirth. So Jesus dying on the cross was symbolizing death, the death of all that no longer serves us, the who we are that does not. He did this for us so we can understand.
Right.
It was all a beautiful, beautiful way to, as Jesus was. He was a piece of the divine.
Right.
Following his journey, his mission, which was to tell the world, to let the world know, you are a child of God.
Yes.
He's called the Son of God.
Exactly.
Right? Well, we all are sons and daughters of God. And we are just like Jesus. And in this death process of the 40 days of letting go, then that Easter, we come up like the rising phoenix from the ashes. You see? So our rebirth, our spring, our renewal begins.
Right.
Not only for us, because we just gave something up for 40 days.
Some chocolate or coffee.
But for the whole world. The buds, the birds, the flowers, everything begins to bloom and to grow and to be. Well, when you look at 40 days back, and it's not every year that this happens, but
right.
when you go back, I guess, to like the 8th century or whatever and begin to look at this, 40 days before that, Venus was in retrograde. And Venus is the planet of pleasure.
Yes.
And therefore, in that 40-day retrograde, she was in retrograde for exactly 40 days.
Right.
That was when we were looking at what can we give up? What do we need to let go? A vice, a guilty pleasure, or whatever in our life. And so once again, Easter, Lent, it's all connected to the skies, to the astronomy and astrology and the astrological way that this world has been created.
Wow.
And then you look at the 40 days and you're like, yes, Jesus went to the wilderness for 40 days.
Yes, he did.
And he was tempted, remember? All his vices were thrown at him to see, whether or not he could actually be pure, be reborn anew.
Right.
Could he really let go of his stuff?
Right. True.
Yeah, so Venus was in retrograde, and I'm like, wow. I mean, it's all connecting. And then I started thinking about 40.
Okay.
There's the 40 days or the 40, was it 40 years? I can't remember. Wandering in the wilderness. There's Ali Baba and the 40 thieves. What are the 40 thieves but vices? Right? I mean, you can begin to start really looking.
You also look at the 40 days and 40 nights with Noah.
Yes. Yep.
On the boat.
Yep. There you go.
Ark,
Yes. So everything is connected, and when we begin to look at it, the cool thing is there is a celebration that happens right before Lent.
Right.
Called Carnival.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody's heard of that. How about Mardi Gras?
Heard of that. Yes.
Well, Mardi Gras, right, that's just what they call it in Louisiana, in New Orleans.
Right.
And it's because of the culture that came in there that this is a big celebration for them. In other places of the world, they call it Carnival.
Okay.
And Carnival or Mardi Gras is what? One big celebration full of guilty pleasure.
That's what it is. It's all guilty pleasure.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, it is there to just let it out.
Right.
All the physical pleasures, just take them in, celebrate, get it all out, because the next 40 days, you're going to have to give it up. So they had this celebration called Carnival.
Right.
And what is carn? The root word of that celebration is physicality.
Okay.
Carn is meat.
Right.
It's physical. It's the body. And that's exactly why they celebrated.
Right.
Was because of the physical body. And they were, let's get all of our guilty pleasures out.
Exactly.
So that we can sit for those 40 days and
Exactly.
see if we can do the 40 days without
Exactly.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Bruce came
Well,
in.
we had to take it. We
We'll
had to
talk
take
with him tomorrow, in the next show. But I wanted to talk about this, all of these lunar and astrological and astronomy within our lives. This, Easter is such a big, big thing that we look at because of, the rising. It's all about the celebration of life.
Right.
Coming back to life, being reborn, being renewed. And if we take the time to really look at the roots,
Right.
then we'll realize that we've been doing this since the beginning of time.
Yes. Wow.
We didn't even, the indigenous people, the Egyptians, when you look at, that's all they did.
Right.
I don't know if you know this, but there is Robert Edward Grant, I think it's Edward.
Okay.
Anyway, he Code X.
Okay.
Code X. It's right. You can even just search it on YouTube and find a clip of it. Mm-hmm. But he spent a lot of time in the pyramids and has discovered in the pyramid. Why it hasn't been discovered yet, who knows? Other than it is time.
Exactly.
It is time. I believe the entire world in this, everything that's going on, people are beginning to kind of look around and question things and ask questions. Especially, why is Easter so early this year?
Yes.
In the past, would they even have thought about it? They would have just kept going, it's Easter. Right. I don't know. But now they're beginning to question, and that questioning is finding answers for us.
Right.
So he discovered within the walls of the Great Pyramid, etched on the walls, to barely visible to the naked eye, unless you can really look into it, all, not only the astrological signs, the 12 signs going around the wall, but underneath them, what's called the decatant, which are the three other aspects of that one sign.
Okay. And a question I do have, because a lot of people are saying what you said is coming earlier, but the thing about it is, I think I remember a time when I was young that it came early like this, because I have a family member who celebrates her birthday on the 31st of March. And one year we had her birthday cake and Easter because we were kids.
Right.
So this is not the first time that this has happened.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's what I just want
because
to make sure
the earth wobbles. Wobble. Wobble, baby, wobble. Yes. Right. So, and that's what causes, like I said, usually you have your new moon and then your full moon within your astrological month.
Right.
And that astrological month begins usually around the 20-something of 1 month through the 20-something of the next month.
Right.
So, and therefore, when it shifts back, then we're in what's called a reversal lunar cycle, in which within your astrological sign, the full moon comes first, and then the new moon.
Okay.
And therefore Easter comes early.
There you go.
Yeah, so I really, yes. And
great explanation.
And it really, really blew my mind that people want to shun, astrology. People want to shun moon cycles.
Right.
And they want to shun things of this sort, looking at the energy that all of the planets have or affect in our body, when that's what we're made of.
Right.
We are the planets and the sun and the moon. That's what we are.
Well, some people are just afraid of the unknown and something that they don't understand. And I'm coming to a sense that I'm meeting a lot of different people in this world over so many years, I'm not going to say. But I think a lot of people are just afraid of what they don't know until they learn.
Right. And I think the key to coming together as one on this planet is just an acceptance of that.
Right.
Those that don't know are just perfect where they are in their unknown.
Right.
And they are perfectly correct in everything they believe. But that is their belief.
Right.
And theirs alone.
Right.
We all are on an individual journey, and therefore my beliefs are mine. Well, and for someone to push their beliefs on me, or me to push my beliefs on them, is not. We need to just accept each other and say, howdy, neighbor.
And I think that is.
I love you for who you are.
And I agree with you. I think it's already here, because if everybody can accept my band Metallica now, I'm telling you, if everybody can accept them, then the rest of the world is already coming closer. I'm just saying, I grew up in a time when nobody liked them, so I just use them as an example.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate all of you listening today, and I do wish you all a fantastic, happy, full of joy Easter. And we have Tanisha next week on the first Sunday.
Yes, she'll be here.
Yes, so thank you all for joining us here at WQEE 99.1 FM. The House of Light presents Wisdom Cafe.
You've been listening to the House of Light presents the Wisdom Cafe on 99.1 FM WQEE. The House of Light, a wellness center at 29 Jackson Street here in Newnan, is a place for people to relax and find true healing. For additional information, 407-414-6711. Remember to tune in next week for another healing message from the House of Light presents the Wisdom Cafe right here on 99.1 FM WQEE.